Hi, my name is Dr. Bowman Cutway, and I'm a biology professor here at Mercer. I love plants, I love growing plants, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own container garden. So we have a nice big container that we're starting with, and it has a hole at the bottom, and that's going to be helpful for drainage. But at the same time, we don't want all of our soil to leave that hole. So we're gonna use just a coffee filter. You could also use a paper towel, just anything that's going to cover that hole but still let water come out. So we're just gonna put that at the bottom right there. And then the next part, this is kind of optional, but it is helpful for your plants, is that it's nice to have some sort of layer that water can drain through really easy. So I personally like using perlite. You can get this at most kind of gardening stores, and it's light and it's fluffy, and so it doesn't add a lot of weight to your pot. The other thing is that you can also put gravel or even sand at the bottom. They're a bit heavier, but they do the same thing in that it allows water to drain through. I'm going to put some of my soil in here. So I've got just a nice potting soil. I'm gonna fill it up, but not the whole way, because as you can see, we have these plants that we're putting in. So we don't want to put in so much soil that we don't have room to put the plants. And so this would give us enough soil that we can kind of just set these plants in. So we have a variety of plants that we are using. And one of the things that you can think of is, first, what kind of sunlight do these plants need? So we picked plants that all need full sun. So if you have a nice sunny spot, all of these plants will do well. But you don't want to mix plants, because some plants like a little bit shadier conditions, and if you put them in full sun, they're not going to be very happy. So the other thing is that we want kind of a variety of height. That's going to make for our nice pretty pot. So this is a dahlia, and so it's going to be a little bit taller. One of the ways that you can figure out that is usually on the back of your labels here. It will tell you what kind of sunlight it needs. It will tell you how often to water it. It will also tell you how tall it's going to get. And so that's one of the ways that you can figure out what it's going to look like as it continues to grow. So as you pull these plants out, a lot of times they'll come out pretty easily. But what you can see is that it has grown kind of lots of roots on the outside of it. And so what you can do is you can just kind of loosen that up. Don't worry about hurting the plant. They are quite resilient, and they can kind of take this kind of work, but it just kind of loosens up that soil so that those roots will continue out into the pot. And you can see also why we didn't want to fill our pot too high is that I'm dropping all of this kind of soil in here. So this is going to be our tallest plant, so I'm going to put it kind of right in the middle here. I'm also going to make sure that I don't have so much soil that the top of the soil from this plant isn't higher. We actually want it about an inch below, because that's going to give enough room for the water to go. So next I'm going to pick a couple of other plants. These are just some annuals that are kind of really common, easy to get. You can just pick whatever looks pretty to you, and that's going to have the right height and sun needs. I'm going to do the same thing in terms of just kind of breaking that up a little bit, and I'm just going to snuggle it right in against that one. The other kind of plant we have here is we have dill. It's really a neat idea to mix in some herbs with your pretty flowers, so it's not just nice to look at, but something that you can use. So here we have dill. You could use parsley, you could use rosemary, thyme, whatever it is that you like using in your cooking or that you like the smell of. And it looks like we have room for the rest of our plants to go in here, so I'm just going to break them up a little bit, snuggle them down in. It's fine if they're kind of fairly tightly packed in there. I'm going to put this last one over in this corner. I'm going to give it all kind of a nice press down. Now, they are fairly tight in there, but there's still space. So that's where we need to add some more soil to make sure that air isn't right up against any of the roots. So I'm just going to fill in a little bit, and there we go. Now, the next thing that we really need to do is make sure that we give these plants a really good watering, because this kind of first bit of time is when they're going to be most stressed out, right? We just kind of took away their roots, we put them in a brand new pot, we gave them some friends. So we really want to make sure that they have nice, deep watering. And so I'm going to give it really probably more water than it needs, because especially new potting soil often doesn't take in water very easily. So you really have to give it a really deep watering to make sure all of those plants get everything that you need. Once everything gets a good watering, you're gonna put this in your new spot. Again, making sure that you keep it well watered, particularly if you've got high sun. That's the one challenge of growing things in a container, is that when it's hot, when it's sunny, they can get dried out really quickly. So you need to check it on a pretty regular basis, give it a good watering, and make sure that they don't get too stressed out. But then you get to just enjoy your pretty plants, maybe pick some dill once in a while. So happy gardening.